Now.
Now we're going. So here's why that was slow. One, I said we're gonna go live, and Neil's like, "Why don't we go live now?" Like just being a little toddler. He was being Veruca Salt, basically, right? And now I realise his camera's all messed up, but whatever. He's just gonna have no hair for the stream.
I can fix that. I got it. Check it.
But also, my mouse has my macros on, and I forgot them. So I was fumbling around trying to not press the buttons that did bad things, but trying to press the buttons that did good things. So yeah, hey! Welcome to the stream. You notice we've lost some dead weight. There's some festival going on where he's from. I don't know, something to do with birds. But I don't care. Most of us are British. So, and I don't care. And Aaron is dedicated enough to do it despite needing to give thanks for whatever you did. So...
Oh, Scott does everything Thanksgiving. I don't participate in that at all.
I had a Thanksgiving
I just show up.
once made by one of my colleagues, and it was lovely. He made a pumpkin tart for dessert.
I was gonna say, what's the difference between Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas dinner? I never had a good answer, but the pumpkin tart sounds like a good answer.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. It was tasty.
Is that different from pumpkin pie, or?
Yeah, maybe it is pumpkin pie. I don't know. Yeah,
tart
it's like
and pie are different,
little
but they're not
cinnamon,
super different.
Maybe it's nice, sweet, warm. It's
nice,
good
sweet, warm. Provide good at home for the clan. All right.
Ollie, you did mess up my camera, you little punk.
I had to change everyone's camera because we don't have Scott. So
now me and Amelia are opposite. Oh yeah.
Don't be weird. Well, I mean, be weird, but be weird in character, so it's allowed.
No.
So, where we left off, you made it to Lichvale. Did you make it to Lichvale last week or the week before?
We made it to Lichvale last week, and now we're going to go and speak with Dighton Rockshaper and also that alchemist that we're never going to talk to. Because
no,
Scott's
you're not talking
here,
to the alchemist. Scott's talking to the alchemist.
So we're gonna go down there and we're gonna dump Sid on him like a baby, like a babysitter, and be like, have fun, play together, here's some gizmos, and throw some cogs at them, and then leave.
That's how it works. But what's
was there
more
a reason for me to talk to the Rocksmith?
Why we're talking to Rockshaper? He's the captain of the guard.
Yeah. So you basically were told, you were given a job, as adventuring parties are, to deal with a bunch of deadless that have turned into bandits. They don't want you to kill them all. They want you to just, ideally, just turn away from banditry. They don't necessarily want them to go back to the military. They just want them to not be bandits.
But I believe we get paid extra if we kill the boss. You
do get paid extra for the boss's head, or for the boss being proof of their true death. And that's why you're going to the Captain of Guard, because you want to get more information about it, because you're smart adventurers and you don't just run gung-ho into things. You want to get more information first. So, that's where we leave.
I feel like that's slug, it's me.
You're in Lichvale, the sort of, oh, fuck, in the Monday game, Ian tried some shit that failed so badly. No, it was an entire party plan that worked, that was just terrible. It was a terrible plan, unrelated, we'll talk about it another time. So, you're in Lichvale. You're just leaving the House of the Mayor, essentially, in Lichvale. No, you were buying things in Lichvale.
Yeah.
So you were spending your time going around the city. And, I say city because Lichvale was a city. Size-wise, it's more a town right now because there's these big walls and only a small fraction of the actual buildings are habited.
Lord of the Rings, it's like a big old lot of Osgiliath with a little bit of actual Gondor in. It's like some of it is occupied, but the rest is just like city ruins.
Yeah, basically, yeah. In fact, actually, not just city ruins. While you're wandering around, you notice some of the just spare space where they've maybe already destroyed buildings. It's actually being used to raise cattle right now because it's safer. But not ideal, but it's just sort of a we can because we can sort of thing. So you're going around the city before you're going off to see the Captain of the Guard. I think you bought everything you wanted to buy Unless there's anything we forgot.
I believe a healing potion.
Oh yes, because for potions you can't just go to any old regular shop. Here anyway. So for potions you have two options that you already know about because you asked around a bunch. You've been spending basically a good chunk of the day asking around, talking to people, going to various little shops and stalls. And this is also because of just the nature of the town. There's a lot of stalls with traders that have come in. They're just sort of set up temporary shops. Also, sorry if my frames suck. I'll try and keep on top of that. And like, if the frames continue to suck, I'll just kick Neil off. It'll even out. But you already know that to get the potions, because you've been talking around, asking around, finding your way around, there's basically two places. You can find alchemists, and there is at least one alchemist that you've been sort of like pointed, like, oh, no, that's sort of that way. Or you could go to a place called the Plague Church. No point. There's a church on top of the one of the hills. There's quite hilly land. The city's built on a couple of rolling hills. Top of the hills is a cathedral, very gothic-looking cathedral. Clearly something that was damaged in the events that went on in Lichvale, but is so much better than everything else, and is not even that needed to be repaired that much. But I don't know whether you necessarily want to buy potions for people called the Plague Church. It's up to you guys whether you want to go alchemy or Plague Church, really.
I am not interested in buying anything here. However, I would put out the word that I am available if the citizens of Lichvale need like things locked.
Okay.
Or warded while I'm here.
Smart.
That's what I'm doing.
I just imagine that as you like walk at someone leaving their house in the morning, you walk up and you just like, look! Well,
Like, no,
that's
I
a
have business
magical
cards.
lock. That'll be 30 gold. And they're like, I can't get back in. It's locked with magic.
No, actually, Arcane Lock is like really awesome, and it lasts forever. So.
Arcane Lock is a really cool spell. That will dash many a plan of the DM in this game.
Sure.
I'm gonna put that there.
I'm fairly certain we encountered an arcane lock last session.
No.
2 weeks ago on a Monday.
Yeah,
And
on Monday. Mondays don't matter, Neil. We're here now. So, as we're here, what the fuck are you doing? Decide something, you idiots.
I want to buy potions.
Where from?
We're going to the Alchemist.
What are my options? I'm kidding. Yeah, we'll go to the alchemist.
Okay.
Potions.
I want potions. I want to not be heard.
Hey guys, I want to buy potions.
So, you easily find the alchemist because you've been asking around, and when Gilwin's like, oh, I buy potions, someone's like, oh, no, you poor soul. No, we have potions over here. And you're led to a little... It's one of those where this is this person's house. They actually have a house here, which is pretty nice. It's a little cottagey type thing, or terraced cottage. Really, really weird. The building in Lichvale is a little strange, the old style design. Not as gothic as Bastilian, where Amelia's from, but, you know, still pretty gothic. But you go here, you say you want potions, and this lady lets you in, and she introduces herself, like, oh, I'm Yol, you need potions? I make potions, you're adventurer types, yes, no? That's fine. Healing potions. I have several of them, and I can brew more if you need more. But, you know, time. And she more or less has a bunch of regular healing potions for sale. She actually has 8 of them, all 50 gold a pop. Regular standard price. And she does have one of the second ones. What is it? Potion of Greater Healing. But that is 200 gold.
Ooh.
I'm gonna get 2 of the old Healy potions.
Yeah, is Melody, are you with me?
I imagine you're all together right now.
Melody, find her, make potions.
Okay, I'll take 2 healing potions, please.
Fuck. Yeah, you can buy 2. That's fine. 100 gold, no probs. And with you guys buying that, that's that problem solved. So now,
Yeah.
I assume you go off to find the captain of the guard.
Indeed.
Okay, so you already know where he's probably going to be. Again, you either ask around, and people are fairly happy to help. more or less. Especially if you ask any actual normal guards in the city. Remember, the guards in the city aren't deadless; they're usually human. They'll say, "Oh, he's in the deadless camp outside." Usually, sometimes he's actually up on the city walls, which you notice because you checked when you came in. There's no one is up on the city walls. They don't defend them properly like a big city would, because they don't need to. But you go out there. Outside the main gate, or the way you went in, is this war camp. It is like a barracks war camp where they're training the deadless. I will remind you, it is the heat of summer. These are undead. It is a horrendous stench going into this place. It is slightly away from the main road, and it has a wooden sort of fencing, but it's very sudden. Most of the stuff going on in here is tents, aside from a couple of better set up buildings. They're still not permanent. They're sort of like made of prefabbed bricks, which is kind of a dwarven technique if they need to set up somewhere. In particular, they actually have their own little forge here, and maybe the smell of the dwarven forge gives some unpleasant memories to Vale and Gilwyn. But you go around and actually, do you talk to the deadless while you're poking around their camp?
Yeah, I would.
I don't think Gil would. He'd look to see if there are any dwarves among them.
Give me a perception check. Amelia, what do you say? It's one of those things where you probably like wander in together, and they look at you, and they're the military, so they're sharpening weapons. Some of them are fixing each other up. They're wearing fairly okay garb, but they have no flag or banner because Lichvale has no flag or banner, not at the moment. So what you say?
I would just introduce myself and I'd say, "Hi, I'm Amelia. I have some questions about the deadless, if it's not too intrusive to ask."
Yeah, everyone has questions, little miss. I'd love to help, but I've got to fletch more arrows. And they just kind of limp away. Gilwyn, you actually can quite clearly see a dwarf. So you're on the outside of the camp walking in. I imagine after that you just keep walking in because he didn't give you what you needed. Around the forge is a dwarf. The actual people working the forge are deadless and a human, but the forge itself, by there, is a dwarf who is organizing the deadless. You can actually see he's talking to one of them who is clearly in higher rank than the others. He's got better armor, better everything else. He's got some papers and all that things laid out around him. He is wearing chainmail that you can clearly tell just from the way it catches the light at this time of day is silvered. He's bald, got a nice sort of gingery beard, but he's very you can hear him probably before you see him, Gilwyn. You're like, oh, yeah, that's the voice of a dwarf, because he's speaking common, but you can tell something about it.
I think we're all together, right? I would probably break
You're all
off
together
from the group real quick.
Melody would follow.
Okay.
Just
I would break. Yeah, that's fine. I would break off and go talk to this dwarf, and I'd be like, I'm sorry to bother you.
Aye, lad.
I'm just wondering. Well, how can I put this best? How many more dwarves are there in Lichvale?
We got many dwarves. You know you know the old legends. Lichvale was part of them. You know, dwarves and men, coin to be had all around. They say. Not in my experience, though. Lots of dwarf traders come in round and round. A couple of their companies and clans are starting to set up here. But that's not what you were asking for, was it? You're asking for here, weren't you?
Specifically, and I motion towards what I assume is like a decaying, decrepit face.
He's normal.
Oh, okay.
He is a normal
gotcha.
dwarf. He's pretty old, but he's not decrepit at all.
I'd probably motion to
one of the other guys.
I'd be like, specifically.
You looking for dwarf deadless?
Yes.
Well, there's one, and he's a fucking rat bastard.
Okay.
He kind of looks at the others who, like, I imagine Amelia is just talking to other Deadless at this time, and Vale is looming.
It was like...
Oh, yeah, he's just
unpleasantly trying to breathe into the Yeti fur.
Okay. Yeah, he looks at them and then looks back at Gilwyn. It's like, well, you're awfully young to be trying to kill yourself there, lad.
No, that wasn't really... look, I had a friend who we discovered later on that was actually a Deadless. Is that the right term, Deadless? I feel weird saying...
We call them Deadless. Sometimes they give each other names, but Deadless is what they like to be called. Most of them.
And since he was a dwarf, I just figured maybe there was the whole camaraderie thing around here, and dwarves stick together and all that sort of stuff.
You're a friend of Kaspak. And you actually see he reaches for his crossbow that's on his back. He actually doesn't like hold it up at you. He just kind of like reshuffles it so he could take it out easier.
Like when a cowboy would like place his hand.
Yeah, but it's on his back, and he's a dwarf. It's not very subtle.
Yeah. No,
it's more of a power play.
I've never heard that name. It's genuinely just the dwarven thing I'm more interested in, not this.
There's only one dwarf, Deadless. It's Kaspak. We didn't even find him like the rest of them. We knew something was up. No, maybe the midwife knows more of them. Maybe there's been one. When you last see your friend?
Close to 3 months now, I think.
Fuck, that doesn't make sense. He's an old one then. You sure it wasn't just a short fuck with a beard?
Well, he was pretty prideful about the fact that it was a dwarf.
It's a dwarf then.
Yeah. Only dwarves want to be dwarves.
Yeah, my experience. See, that's the thing. There's only been one dwarf Deadless, and it was weird. He wasn't with the rest of them. The midwife didn't drag him up, and we didn't kick him out. We found him out in the forests. So it was weird. Shut up!
Twice it back to like...
It was punctuation. That's like one of my favorite running jokes is that Penny is always existing. There's always a dog. So he's you can tell you don't need an insight roll because dwarves have to try and conceal their emotions. Right. They wear them on their face quite. If they are experiencing any, they wear them quite proudly. And he is just troubled. Like his brow furrows. It makes all his forehead crease up because he's bald. He just creases all the way up. And he does think. He's like, I can ask the men. There's not much going on right now. I can ask the men.
Honestly, I think it was kind of naive of me to just walk up to the first dwarf I saw and ask about this. Maybe it's...
Very human of you!
Yeah, well, what can I say? I think it's... If you don't mind, just keep it on the DL for a little bit. That means down low, by the way. But human lingo.
Down low. I know some people who prefer things down on the down low. I can keep this secret for you. Name's Dyden Rockshaper. I'm the captain of the guard of Lichvale. I keep this city safe from the marauders outside it.
Rockshaper.
Aye.
Vale! It's Rockshaper. Found Rockshaper.
You were looking for me, were you?
Yes.
Yeah.
What was her name? Lady Builder. Sent us. We were to inquire about the first dwarf you mentioned. We've been sent to deal with the problem.
Ha! About time. Can't really ask brothers to fight brothers. I got some honor in me, even if some back at the mountain would disagree. But I wouldn't send brothers to fight brothers. But He kind of looks at all of you. He actually stops at Melody. You can tell he's like a little impressed because Melody is muscular. But actually, he pauses and looks, and you can tell he recognizes the armors Melody wearing. Melody's wearing the armor of the rebels, the bandits, and he kind of like shakes his head and is like, "Kaspak will chew you up and spit you out into a weak wine."
Well, it's funny you should say that because Melody here eats them.
Melody?
She actually eats them. She bites them, tears them apart with her teeth. Yep, you see that armor? That's the only thing that was left of that one. We're just going to take her to the camp, point at the dwarf, and let her go. It will be easy.
Melody understands what they're talking about and casts Primal Savagery bit, bangs elongate. Just for effect.
Fuck.
Yes, see, we are basically just helping her as guides. It will be easy, you know?
I know what it's like. Sometimes you need to control a wild beast. One time I had a bear. Yeah. Maybe you will be able to do the job. Yeah. I warn you though. Kaspak's strong. And when he took away the rebels, he was getting stronger. All those magic-y fucks, they're strong. Something where when Deadless use magic, it's why I've got these ones on my side.
Did you ever see him cast any sort of spell?
Yeah.
Remember what it looked like?
Yeah. When he uses his magic, he's like the fucking wind. You wouldn't think looking at him. He's fast and like the wind is the darndest thing.
I'll look at. Is Amelia with us? We're all together, yeah? I look at Amelia and sort of like, do you know of this spell? Have you ever heard of it?
You can give me
Very vague for a spell.
You can give a insight roll, Amelia. You actually can kind of work out what he's talking about. But like clearly some kind of, I mean, obviously it's wind magic or someone who can move very fast. This guy keeps going on about how he's like the wind. There's no way there's anything else. This guy doesn't seem to know about magic, but in Yavaskir, people being tied to elemental powers is not uncommon. So being tied in some way to the element of wind is entirely possible and could be likely and can lead to some pretty powerful magic, but anything more than that is...
I mean, it could be something as simple as, an expeditious spell to make you faster. It could be Zephyr magic. It could be anything that's very vague. I would have to actually see the spell.
You'll see him if you fight him. You'll see it close up. But, maybe with your bear you'll stand a chance.
Does he like to get up close? Or is he more of a... Whoa!
He'll surprise you, that's what he'll fucking do. He prefers to weaken you up and then go in for the kill. Yeah.
Right.
One of those warrior with no honor. But you probably want to know where he is, don't you?
Yes.
Please.
Yeah.
He kind of like actually goes to a table. It is a low dwarf-sized table. And gets a map of the local area, so it's got like the wall of Lich Vale, which is kind of a circle-ish, it's a wobbly circle, and you see a forest outside, and you went right through it, and it's actually got that road on there. Basically, the where he points, and there's actually like a little symbol on that map, a little pin with a symbol on it, is on the other side of the forest from the road. So, and immediately you can connect dots that's where the horse went off to.
Yeah.
Or at least in that direction, right? But it's too much of a coincidence to not be that. There's a village called Grainhill. We went in and slaughtered the inhabitants, most of them. I can't for the life of me work out why. They were just farming folk. But then these bandits just want gold. It's all they want. They want to fight and they want gold. They don't have nothing to spend gold on. Don't need food, don't need shelter. They just want the gold. They want the fight. Ugh. They're messes.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I think that concludes our questions. Thank you for your time, Dighton.
Are there other people in Grainhill, or just the bandits at this point?
We know they killed most of them, but we had a few families run in. Seems they spared the children and the weak and the old elderly. But anyone of fighting stock, seems like they didn't get out. But then it was a small place. All the towns outside Lichvale, they used to boom. But now, well, at least the crops grow again, but they're not the same. So, there wasn't much in there to start with. But still, it's unfortunate. I pray to the Old Father that their spirits found their way to Yezgard.
Right.
Thank you.
Well, yeah. Thank you very much.
Good luck. And don't lose leash on that bear. It can bite you. He kind of like wanders off, laughing to himself. And he like almost immediately starts to have a conversation with other deadlifts, which is quite loud so you can hear. It's like, oh yeah, asking about Kasvak, like, not being that secretive.
Melody just looks at Gil. Where is Bear?
He was being a rude fuck. Melody.
You're the bear.
Melody, not Bear.
You're powerful. You're quite hairy. I'd say you're as close to a bear as we've got.
She sort of takes a moment and then sort of nods with a vaguely thoughtful look at her face at Bad. Bear's strong. This good thing.
Yeah. Melody the bear.
Melody the bear.
Right, come on, Phil.
So, question. I assume you're trekking out that way. You're going through the forest, you're going round. It's actually... going round the forest would be easier, but, you know, if they have scouts, you'll be seen. And also, are you taking your horses? Are you going to leave them in Lichvale at some stable?
I think we should leave Ampersand and Galleon behind.
Yeah, I think we should leave the horses here in a stable to be honest.
Cool. That's fine. So, in forest, well, you can actually do three things. You go just straight there, more or less. It's hilly land, but it's plains, more or less. You can actually see you can see the forest and you can see the area where there wouldn't be forest. So you could walk. You go through the forest, which is cover, or you go along the road through the forest and then like round the way their horse went, which is kind of a middle ground, I guess.
Right.
But that would take the longest. But you may be able to follow the tracks.
Yeah. How long has it been since we saw those tracks?
3 days.
Yeah.
3 days. But Melody was they were very heavy tracks. And it is raining right now, so they will be harder to they will be slightly lost, but I think Melody got a crit or something, so she can try to pick up the tracks again. It is possible. I think I declared it's like you can come back later. So I'm remembering.
Yeah, didn't
Yeah. Sid broke for rock, so we know where they were from.
Yeah,
and I
we
previously
have that marker.
we marked it? Okay. So I'd probably be like, Melody, do you reckon you could still find those tracks if we took you back
You
to
also
them?
know it would be probably 3 days until you get to the tracks again.
Ah.
Because you got to go back through the forest. Although
Yeah.
yeah, not much you can do about that.
Melody can try. Difficult, maybe. Melody, with help, might follow. Might be able to follow.
Okay. Well, it'll take us a while to get back to those. We could just straight gun it there.
I would suggest that we just head through the forest. We know where it is. We can probably find our way there vaguely, and this gives us the least chance of being spotted.
I will remind you that we encountered almost undead wolves going this way, and perhaps the most traveled option would be safer.
I was just gonna point at Melody's back, which holds
Giant wolf pelt.
one of those giant wolf pelts.
Yeah, that was 2. Do you know how wolves usually hunt?
Yes, I know exactly how undead wolves that spray death usually hunt. For all we know, that may have been an unusual occurrence. They may only hunt on their own, or in packs of 2. The size of them, I imagine they would have to hunt a lot if there was a huge pack to be able to sustain themselves.
Also, your suggestion is based around not being seen. Do we intend to sneak into this encampment and slaughter the leader? In the middle of it?
I think it would be worth having a look at the encampment without being known before we walk into the wolves' den.
I think we should talk to the bandits and see what they want.
Yes, but there's no point just wandering in there if we get...
No, but if we wander in there under the guise of being sneaky assassins and we get spotted, that will ruin any chance to try and talk our way out of this.
While you're having this conversation, Sid, who's been here the whole time, but not paying any fucking attention, is like, "Oh,
He's been here the whole time.
You're talking about going in there. I don't want to go in there. I'm gonna go see this Fulcrum gentleman they've been telling me about. This is the worst Sid for some reason. I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna take this with me," and like takes the disc off Melody's back and like hugs it with his arms so they kind of fit like this. And like, I'm gonna do this, and Vale, the magic should keep you protected until then. And then he toddles off. And then who gives a fuck about Scott? He's gone. I explained it. It's good enough.
I've got the +1.
You still got the magic.
Okay.
I think that is in play until he changes it. Either way, so I'm just gonna say you still have it. I don't remember at all, but that's what it's for.
If
Anyway,
we go
back to
in
argument.
and we make a meeting with the bandit leader, worst case scenario, maybe we can get him alone. Or a loner.
Do you not think it's worth doing some reconnaissance before we just say we want a meeting? If we at least familiarize ourselves with the camp. I'm not saying we go in there, but if we climb a tree, have a look, if we know the layout, we might be able to, or if we watch for a few days, we might be able to learn this Crispback? I don't know. We might be able to learn his plan. He may have a routine. He may go fishing every morning. We may be able to catch him on his own then. He may go out for a peaceful walk among the trees where he sews himself up like Forak did. It is worth noting. But if you think that we won't be able to gain anything from that, then...
We can certainly try, but I won't be joining you in any sneaky shit.
When
no, I'm
hunting,
not talking about sneaking inside.
when hunting, good to watch creature first.
Okay.
So
Melody sealed the point to Amelia. That's a first. Score 1 for Melody.
We will go to the edge of the forest, remain hidden, and do some observation from the edge of the forest. Once we have learned all we will learn, we will go in and arrange a meeting, like you say, Amelia.
Yeah, that's a point. You could kind of... I mean, that's probably be what you do anyway. You just skirt around the edge of the forest in some sort of cover until you get closer. Yeah, that's possible.
Okay.
Cool.
That sounds like a good plan to me. And Gil, of course, you will be our envoy, as the most non-threatening member of the party.
I understand completely.
No, I am kidding. I would not send you in there alone. They would kill you.
Hey, I could disguise myself as one of them, if worst comes to worst.
You are not that.
Do you have illusion magic?
I have disguise self. I could make myself look decrepit.
So if we do get the opportunity to get this person alone, and we are able to kill him, perhaps you can look like him enough to get us out? Without finding their whole encampment?
He is a dwarf. I can't shrink.
Gil is really tall.
Yeah,
Gil is as tall as Vale. They're both, what, 6 feet?
Yeah, I think
And he's very tall and lanky.
Yeah,
He's
Amelia
the
says
opposite
that,
of a
I'm like,
dwarf.
I mean, he's a dwarf, and I'm.
You'd like slouch.
Amelia, you're meant to be a woman of magic
gone.
and...
I like that.
I could have made me.
Well, Melody, you draw your power from the Feywild. I don't know much about them, but I know they usually specialize in beguiling magic.
We could.
Do you have anything like that?
That is a good plan.
Melody just tilts her head at this, not really understanding.
Yeah, that's a lot of big words for Melody.
This illusion magic you possess, are you able to cast it on others? We could have disguised Raj. That would do. They'd be like, huh, he's looking a little bit small, but that would be it.
Melody's eyebrows are furrowed at this suggestion, looking at Vale.
Almost
she's expecting something to happen to Vale.
Yeah, you like wait for a bit. We're just expecting nothing.
Vale
else.
then like stops and looks at Amelia and goes, Raj is some form of fey sprite that Melody is bonded with in some way.
Is it a familiar?
I
Raj
don't
is
really have
French.
any knowledge of these sorts of things. It would be foolish of me to say yes or no to that. I'm not well trained in those sorts of arts.
I'll actually conjure my familiar at that point in time, which is like this like giant snowy owl. Faye.
So how do you conjure it?
Kinda. Same way Amelia conjures anything, like she takes out her chalk and she's just inscribing runes like around her and they glow and
an owl pops up.
A big
An owl
snowy
pops up.
owl, but with Penny's face on it.
I
There
looked
you
at Vale. I looked at Vale and go, "Why does everyone get a tag team partner?"
Well, we are each other's tag team partners, you see.
Yes, but there's Melody and then Raj. There's Sid and his little cat piece of shit. There's Amelia and this owl. Am I your familiar?
I think it's a bit more complicated than that. We're like each other's familiars.
That's nice.
Raj, this is Aberforth. And I'll kind of like perch my arm and I kind of like hold out to like a Melody to see if anything happens.
Melody would notice that after... Well, you'd all notice, because, I mean, you can't see Raj's over Melody. Like, wherever Melody keeps her food, which is just somewhere in her clothes, it's not a pocket, it's just in there, like, a couple of berries just float up, and they get fed one by one to the owl.
Ollie's dead.
They get fed one by one to the owl! Sorry. My internet's being horrible today.
For a second there, I thought that was just Ollie had just stopped and frozen, and like his internet was fine, and he just went being fed.
It's not entirely impossible. You know, I could be like a little bit of a Commander Data kind of thing going on. But yes, you do notice that happen. Raj is occupied with that.
That's cute.
Melody just smiles in the direction of Raj.
That's the nicest.
Aberforth is also a Fae, so perhaps they will get along.
Yes, that is the nicest thing I've seen Raj do.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I thought so. I stole it from your mouth. It's so in sync. No,
I stole it from your mouth.
It's a literal translation.
I was gonna say it's a literal translation from someone who's lived in Elvish. I like it. Are you gonna go?
Yeah.
I kind of imagine we've been.
You're setting off.
We would
You're
travel,
walking
so, yeah.
down the road. Yeah, I usually are. So, whoever's
Normally,
leading the party.
I would dismiss Aberforth, by the way, but if he's hanging out with Amelia and the cat, then I'll just let him hang out,
Sure.
be around.
The cat's with Sid.
The cat's
not
with
allowed
Sid.
to
No,
be
the cat's
on
probably
his own.
still with Gilwyn, but like in Gilwyn's bag. Like Gilwyn will like go and get out a ration for the way, and the cat's in there.
Yeah,
But, like, its
reach
head
in
is,
for
like,
something,
not
and
even
then he pulls
connected.
out the cat.
Like, that you just open it up and there's a meow and you're like, where is it? And you pick up the head and then the body, like, is like trying to get for it and they're still both functioning, but it's weird. And then I imagine
So,
you put
as we're walking, then I would be like, so we're to scout this place out. 1, right?
Yes, and we
then-
now have a giant snowy owl to do the trick. Well, it's not giant, but a snowy owl to do some scouting as well, which would come into sort of... Who knew this would get a lot easier with a bird's eye view?
Safe scouting.
Safe scouting, exactly.
I was gonna say, if they see a beautiful, majestic snow owl fly over their bandit camp, would not
in
one of
summer.
them- in summer. Thank you, ethereal voice.
You're welcome, Gilwyn. It is me, Pelor.
It's like a hand just reaches down, just a fist bump. Well, as a snowy owl, Aberforth is uniquely suited to camouflaging within the land.
That's true.
In snow, yes.
In Lichvale, it is all grey.
I just picture Melody being sassy for once.
I know.
Snow.
She's learning.
That's really what that was. Melody just like gave Vale this long look and then just went, in snow? You dipshit.
Melody's been spending too much time with Gilwyn.
Yeah.
What Vale means is a lot of Lichvale, as you would expect in this area in summer, it would be lovely and green and golden fields and whatnot, but actually here it's fucking grey.
It's all grey and white, and actually nothing is like set black, aside from dirt. Like all the trees are white or grey.
So let's say the scouting goes well. We get the general layout. What then? Do we go in, talk to them? Do we pretend we're somebody? Do we go in all guns blazing? That's not going to happen, by the way. I'm just saying that right now.
We arrange a meeting and I offer, while we are talking, offer him some of my dark heart liquor. Shakes the bottle with a little bit of heart popping around in there. It will work, he will love it. And
Arrange a
then
meeting. Why?
Bell looks to Amelia.
Don't drink that.
Well, we arrange a meeting to see whether we can come to some sort of solution before we go stabby.
I highly doubt these bandits just want to kill people. I think it's more likely that they were, raised in a town, then kicked out of that town, and then given a single job, which is to be a guard or to get fucked. So, I think if we offer them alternatives or offer to negotiate on their behalf with the city of Lichvale, perhaps we can reach an agreement. We might still have to kill the leader. That's entirely possible.
Very optimistic, and then went to pessimistic, and then back to optimistic, and then back to pessimistic. So
I'm a
basically, we are settled on. Chances are we will probably have to deal with the leader in some way.
Worst case scenario, I feel like just a reasonable enough guise to operate under to get him into a boat
Yes.
or away from his arms.
Do we say that we have been sent by the Lady Builder, or do
Yes.
we?
So you just want to be completely forthcoming and honest?
Yeah, until, it turns out that we can't be anymore and then we have to kill him.
If he's a dwarven fellow and still is dwarven, then being completely honest may work in our favor.
Yeah, it's true.
Clearly has some semblance of honor remaining if he spared the people unable to fight.
See,
And
that's
who knows? Maybe
that's
he
what-
is looking for different opportunities.
that's what confused me, because Rockshaper said he wasn't that honourable, and yet he spared these people.
Oh, well, it's like me. I'd dance around you. I'd stab you in the back as soon as look at you, but I probably wouldn't stab your child.
Okay.
The funny thing is, Gil, I'm going to be there when I see your child, you know? I'm going to be alive when you're dead and your child is your age.
I've seen the way you fight. Not likely.
Oh!
Well,
there's like a kerfuffle, and your owl gets spooked, which Melody can see is like Raj fell off of Melody's shoulder, laughing.
Melody is giggling as well. More at Raj, but because you can't see Raj, it looks like she's giggling.
Yeah,
at
she's just
Melody
laughing.
in comments.
well, we'll see about that.
You deserve that.
Maybe.
You know I'm sensitive about my mortality. Shit.
Just like all humans. So,
I thought it might be comforting to know that I am watching over your children and grandchildren and their children. It's like having a great protector spirit, no?
No.
Yeah.
A member of the elder race? No? You know, no one. Tough crowd.
I mean, I appreciate it. It's just you mentioned that I was going to die way before you will. I don't like that.
Well, we nearly died together the other day. Is that what you want?
I mean, if my internet goes down, I want everyone else's internet to go down.
don't be mean about my internet problems. I'm very self-conscious about them. I literally the other day was like, oh yeah, I don't even know why my internet's good for streaming. It shouldn't be. And
I
now
don't think
this.
it is good for streaming. I think you actually must have to make blood sacrifices at some point to make this work.
So that's why he looks like a vampire.
Okay. So, while you're having this conversation, whoever's leading, whoever gives me a survival roll.
I will.
Yeah, I'd say it would be.
Thank you, Ian. There's like a tense moment where I was like, Ian, say you'll do it.
Oh, I rolled
Oh,
an 18!
so
Luckily, a 10 is absolutely good enough for this. You're going through a forest in the human lands that, even though it has been changed, I wouldn't
And we
necessarily
have a
even
map.
say corrupted. You didn't get given that map. You just
No,
looked at the map. Melody can remember it because she's weird smart.
Schmirk.
Also, while we're going through the forest, can I have a look round for herbs for healing potions?
That would slow you down a lot. If you're okay with that, yes. If not, no.
Melody would
Well, actually, what you
start
can do,
doing
what you
that.
can do, you're spending at least 3 days doing this, right? Actually, you're probably spending more like 2 days, so 2 camps doing this. You could do that at camp time instead of
Sure, yeah.
as a little bit of a thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Do
we
that
could,
while
we
looking
could
around.
even stop an hour early or something
Yeah,
to
that's
select a
entirely
good
reasonable.
out of the way
So-
campsite during that Melody can.
leading this way is absolutely fine. You're going around the outside of the forest, and it's in the human land, so even though it's different, it's fairly simple. In the elven lands, like the Melody knows, there's all kinds of beasts that stay in forests. And yeah, there's all kinds of beasts that stay in these sort of forests too, but usually deep in them. When you're outside,
There's
you're mostly fine. Bears?
giant semi-undead death-breathing bears.
Oh shit, I guess I need a new monster.
Even
But,
bigger and
you're
badder
absolutely
than
fine.
death-breathing wolves.
You do see the occasional wildlife. This place is very much alive, even if the creatures may not actually be alive. And you can travel quite happily. So, when you do camp, actually, I'll say this for both of the nights you're doing this, because the traveling is absolutely is fine. Give me a herbalism roll for both of those nights.
Herbalism kits.
No, was it survival roll for getting
Yeah.
the stuff?
The
Survival.
gathering.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on, decent survival roll.
Yeah, that's actually great. So you go around, and Melody, you've never seen these sorts of things before, and Raj is really interested. Do any of you go with her while you're doing this? While she's doing this?
No, I'm gonna cook a meal this evening.
I'll go with it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm securing the campsite.
Of course.
So you get to be alone with Vale.
Raj is super interested in things here because you would know Melody. You're having a conversation with her. It's like, oh, this is usually you like. want heal potions, remember? And she's like, yeah, she knows how to make them. And she's looking for things and like, usually that's blue. Will it work? And like, sometimes Melody's picking things up. Sometimes things just end up in like Melody's arm. Like she's probably got one arm like this and is like picking things up with the other stuff. Gilwyn, give me a nature roll.
Yeah.
You actually know the kind of thing she's collecting. Maybe you've been friends with some herbalists before. The standard thing. He knows his herbs. His herbs. The standard herb that is the base of all healing potions is called the Blue Lady. It's pretty common, actually. It just has to be treated in the right way, which you can do very easily if you know how. And even if you treat it wrong, you can still make a pulse. Like a lot of people, like Melody before she made healing potions, made poultices that you wrap around wounds and help heal them over time. Actually, you're gonna have rules for that somewhere if you wanted to make those instead. But you can use them to make healing potions. You just need some other stuff. Like that is the effective thing. You then need a catalyst to bulk it up, which you can easily collect while you're going around here.
This Blue Lady has been in Yavaskir since like the first.
I remember, I think in the first
couple months we made some healing potions, and now we're urban adventurers, so we buy all our healing potions. But it used Blue Lady then as well.
Yeah. Hashtag everything's connected. Of course, the Blue Lady that she's collecting, and Dean would notice this, or Gilwyn would notice this. Dean doesn't fucking know what shit's going on.
It's more like the Pale Lady.
It's the Pale Lady. They're white. They're
mind blown.
All that sort of things.
Everything's
and the reason why it's called the Blue Lady is it's a sort of thistly plant, but it has slightly bluish leaves.
Maybe Gil saw Caitlin collect it once or something.
Caitlin would have talked about it at least once, I think.
Yeah.
Is where you got it from. So you go back. This is for both the times you go out collecting. So with a 20, Melody, roll me 2d4.
2d4.
This is Gilwyn's next song.
Oh yeah.
You were doing such a good job.
Holy
you have
shit.
the stuff with you to make 8 healing potions. Now bear in mind, making a healing potion, I'm fairly sure there's no rolls involved. It just takes time, and you've now got the stuff. It takes a day to make 1 healing potion. Well, actually, with all this stuff, maybe you'd have to buy a couple of things in town or get people. You'd actually be able to use this to make a greater one as well. But it would be like 1 greater one as opposed to all of these, just because you had such a good roll. But you did successfully collect the stuff. And it's not like you can start brewing healing potions on your rest. No, it is a full day of I'm doing this. Now Melody doesn't necessarily need a workshop or anywhere safe to do it. She can actually do it out in fuck nowhere. She just needs her kit. But with that resounding successful roll, we're gonna take our first break. And after this,
get ready for me to fail my cooking roll.
Oh, you want a cooking roll? Yeah, we'll talk all about the feast that Vale is going to cook to try and charm Amelia. I get it. All right, we will be back soon. Like 3 minutes or something.